As we have just seen in the recent gameplay demonstration for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, weapons still break. So people started debating again on whether the feature of weapons degrading and breaking is good or bad, and personally I find it to be a great feature, and in this video I will explain why. So, unlike many other games, weapons in Breath of the Wild, they break after a certain amount of use, and many people might wonder why this feature is great. So there's actually several reasons why it's important and how it enhances the gameplay experience for the player. So firstly, this feature ensures players don't just rely on one powerful weapon throughout the game. So in Breath of the Wild, players need to adapt to different environments and enemies and use different types of weapons. And this requires on-the-fly thinking when a weapon breaks, and the player has to decide which one to use next. This also makes the players step out of their comfort zone and experiment with abilities, bombs, items, and the environment to defeat enemies. So if weapons in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom didn't break, players would only use one really good weapon they like a lot and then never try anything else. The game's mechanics, they ensure that players collect a variety of weapons and then they have to use them as they break. And this feature also prevents players from hoarding a ton of weapons, which would make the game too easy. So in the early game in Breath of the Wild, you don't have a lot of weapon slots, and you don't have very good weapons, so it can be frustrating only having basic weapons and they break constantly. But later on in the game, you'll pick up lots and lots of different weapons, and if they didn't break, you'd have so many you wouldn't know what to do with them. And likely you would just pick the best weapon you have and only use that one, and just keep collecting weapons and not do anything with them. And then another reason why weapon durability in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is great is that it causes desperation in the player. It really makes them feel immersed in the world they're trying to survive in. So when a player's in the heat of the battle, their weapon breaks, they feel vulnerable and exposed, it increases the tension and excitement of the game. And this adds more chaos to the game, such as when you're fighting a guardian. Suddenly your shield breaks, or you panic, and then you have to grab something real quick, try and survive. Or you're attacking an enemy camp, you're chasing them down, you can drop the remote bombs as you're running away, explode the enemies. There's just so many different ways you can defeat and interact with enemies using all the various abilities like magnesis, remote bombs, stasis, and plenty of other things. These make many options for defeating enemies, and really it makes the player think in the moment what's the best way to defeat an enemy. Plus, getting the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild is more impactful and memorable because it doesn't break, so it does need to recharge after a while, but that just ensures it's not too overpowered. And this feature also makes obtaining the Master Sword a significant achievement in the game. And then in Tears of the Kingdom, so the developers, they made weapon durability better by introducing the ability to fuse weapons together. So when a weapon is almost broken, players can fuse it with another weapon to create a new one. So this feature, it gives items a new lease of life and forces players to experiment more and try different things, just like Breath of the Wild. So it's pretty good that they made a compromise between items just breaking and them being unbreakable, with Tears of the Kingdom keeping the experimentation of weapons in Breath of the Wild, but adding more ways to defeat enemies by fusing a weapon with something else. So yeah, in conclusion, weapon durability in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is a great feature that enhances the gameplay experience. It ensures that players don't just rely on one powerful weapon, and it makes them experiment with different abilities and items, and it increases the tension and excitement of battles. And it assures that players don't hoard a ton of weapons, and makes obtaining the Master Sword a much more significant achievement. And then Tears of the Kingdom's fusion feature adds more depth to weapon durability mechanics, and offering a compromise between unbreakable items and fixable weapons. So yeah, that's it for this video. That's why I think it's a great feature, and I'm glad it's coming back in Tears of the Kingdom, but they made it better, so that's pretty awesome. I understand why it can be annoying, but as I said, there's a lot of benefits to it, so yeah. If you agree, make sure to comment down below. If you disagree, tell me why. And then if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.